everyone, and welcome to the Funny Business Podcast. It's two best friends who talk about the most random of things and argue over the simplest of things. I am Mike Gambita, and alongside with me is none other than the co-host, the roommate for life, Mr. Matt Summers. Matt, how are you today? How are things?
Things are good. Fighting off a little cold. It's not COVID, but a little cold. But other than that, things are going pretty well. I know we have both had crazy schedules at work the past couple weeks. Last week was a big week for both of us. But Mike, we both survived. Snaps to us for surviving some crazy things at work. Credit to us. Credit to us for still doing this podcast while our lives are in shambles. We're not professionals, but we try to be.
We have been doing this, Matt, for 98 weeks.
Yeah, it's weird.
Isn't it? You know, we talked about this sitting on the nice couch that I have in my apartment, and we're saying like, okay, we could definitely do 200, and literally 100 is 2 episodes away, 2 weeks if you're counting this episode as a week, but 2 episodes away from episode 100.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about this episode 100, but like it just like I never thought this was going to end, but I also like never really thought like we'd get to like 100 episodes at the same time, because you don't think of that at the time. You just think of one each week, and the current week you're doing it. You don't think of the grand scheme of things where it's almost been 2 years that we've been at this for now.
Yeah, because isn't it 104 would technically be the 2-year anniversary of our episode?
I believe so.
I
yeah,
think so 52 plus 52 is 104. Yep. I know math.
That's correct. Look at you. We got master's degrees.
Yeah. 2 degrees and we're still idiots. I would think just based on the changes and the hectic schedules that happen, and thank God for not sponsor included, but thank God for video chat and the opportunity to record on our own separate ends to combine it, because we're quality podcasters. We're not just any other podcast here. So I think it's a fresh thing. But Matt, I never would have thought we would be doing a podcast during college. Let's say you start a podcast, or you're running your own side hustle and have a bunch of links that you want your audience to know about. As a podcast, Matt and I have all of our social media, all of our podcast links, and other important things. Make it easier for your followers to find your important links, social media, and latest content by having it all in one page with solo.to. I'll be honest, I have used similar websites like this, but nothing compares to solo.to. All of your links are clean and easy to navigate. Have an upcoming video? It's really easy to make those changes. Plus, solo.to has opportunities to upgrade to include more customization, advanced analytics, and so much more. Solo.to is giving us a special opportunity for you to get 10% off if you create an account and upgrade. Be sure to go to solo.to/funnybusiness to create your account today.
No, I mean, I only started listening to the podcast, I think, right before I graduated college. So I never even thought I would ever do one, let alone here we are, episode 98.
Yeah. Well, Matt, I wanted to bring up college because I got a fun story at LSU that happened over the past few weeks that just wanted to share our thoughts and our opinions that were happening. So, Matt, the dining hall. How many great experiences have you had at the dining hall?
Too many to count. Yeah.
We had this one thing called the Chicken Bowl at our campus, and delicious. I always called it kids menu. It was always chicken tenders, mac and cheese, green beans. I think there was something else on top of that, but I would run up and get multiple plates. Shout out to Frank. I know he doesn't listen to this podcast, but Frank would be whipping up pizzas at the pizza place.
Shout out Frank.
Dude, when it was Buffalo Chicken Day, I kid you not, I think I've talked about this on the podcast. 6 slices. I almost had a full pie at lunch when it was Buffalo Chicken Day. And then the honey hammers. What could you go wrong with the honey hammers?
Oh, the honey hammers with the pretzel roll.
Yeah.
Die for. You couldn't get them. You were lucky to get one.
Jenna and I actually, during the pandemic, we made honey hammers ourselves with the pretzel buns.
Yeah. Oh, it's easy to make at home. Super easy. Mike, as this is episode 98, we still as a podcast, still learning some things. I'm going to flip my light switch real quick so my laptop doesn't die.
Oh,
I just want to share with everyone that we are not professionals.
we are not. I was going to say we are trained professionals.
Well, there we go. That's how stupid I am.
Well, Matt, what a nice co-host. Matt wants to make sure that things don't die, things are alive, things are well, and we're back. So Matt, did you ever experience any type of animals at the dining hall besides the people who eat ravishly?
I was going to make a bad sports joke. I'm not going to make that joke. Animals. Wow. I don't think so. I don't even ever think I ever saw like a service dog in there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, at LSU over the past weekend, a raccoon made an appearance at the dining hall. A raccoon, this is obviously in Louisiana and Baton Rouge, reported by the HuffPost. A raccoon fell through the ceiling into a packed dining hall at Louisiana State University as students screamed and the cook tried to catch it in a basket.
All I can think of is that clip from The Office when Dwight sets the office on fire and Angela throws her cat into the ceiling to try to save it. And it just goes up over 2 tiles and comes right back down. It's hysterical. Raccoon in the dining hall would probably make me lose my appetite.
So there was actually a first account from freshman Danielle Gibson. She reported from the Reville student newspaper. Of course, got to support your local newspapers, especially if it's student ran. She said that I went to still get my food. I still went and still got my food because I thought it was fake. She said the raccoon that then ran underneath my table and immediately got on top of the chair. I would probably do that too because you're not expecting a raccoon at a dining hall.
No, and raccoons aren't like the most sanitary type of animal. Like they eat literally trash. So who knows what kind of diseases they have or like where they've been or what they have on them, fleas or anything like that. So yeah, I'd probably stay as far away as a raccoon as I could.
Do you think, Matt, people are tired of hearing our Anchor ad?
Yeah, probably. But let's be honest, if it wasn't for Anchor, we would not be doing a podcast.
You're right, Matt. Once again, we have to thank Anchor for helping us continue to make each episode. Y'all know how it works. Anchor is free. It's easy to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, and distributes your podcast to platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more.
And you all know that you can make money too, even with the first couple episodes that you start with.
So why haven't you started your own podcast yet? Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's anchor.fm.
So Mike, when do you think we'll stop talking about Anchor?
Oh man, Matt. You know what? To be completely honest, I think we'll be talking about this for a long time. You really don't know. I mean, I've seen people take them in as pets, and then that's very illegal.
Morons.
Yeah. So, Matt, you would probably think, of course, it's a college campus. It's probably the most intelligent thing of trying to capture this thing, and you would think you would do it in the most intelligent way. However, a video showed that people were chasing it with a broom and a stick, or perhaps 2 brooms, and then Gibson says that, obviously, like you mentioned, lost her appetite when friends told her the raccoon had been on top of her bag while she was gone. And, of course, the account still continued. I'm just scared that my bag has a disease. She said, right now it's funny to look back at it, but at the moment I was traumatized. My appetite is definitely gone. One of her friends, freshman Hannah Asis, said students got the raccoon into an area where it couldn't run out. Matt, take a wild guess who tried capturing the raccoon.
Who tried?
Think like campus members.
Oh, I don't want to say the president. Is it the
Good
president?
Guess. Yeah, that is incorrect. If we're playing trivia, you'd hear the buzzer. But Matt, it was the cook who was trying to catch the raccoon. Tried using a basket to catch it. A basket, and I believe it was a trash can. And it was caught. But it wasn't the most, let's say, fundamental ways of catching it.
So was he trying to catch it to cook it?
I hope not.
I hope not, but
I
it's Louisiana, so you really never do know.
You really don't know. I think I saw this story, this recount on Colbert, and I think he actually made a joke about it. It's like, oh, you don't want to worry about next week's menu because it's like raccoon stew. And yeah, Alabama jokes. They're easy to make.
Yeah, they are. Good for this campus for kind of uniting as one and fighting against the raccoon. The raccoon had to be terrified on the other side of it. You know, the raccoon's perspective, he probably doesn't know how the hell he got up in the roof. And all of a sudden he falls down and a bunch of people are chasing him with brooms and sticks. It's probably traumatizing for the raccoon too.
I don't want to be this person, but there was probably rats somewhere in our dining hall. And not saying like because it wasn't a good establishment. It just something like this with a raccoon, like this raccoon, very unusual thing. Obviously, LSU was a much bigger campus than the school that we went to. But you could probably think about it. There's probably like mice, rats that typically tend to trek across our dining hall, not on the floor, but certainly in the ceiling, and they just don't have the weight to fall through the tiles.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I think there's probably mouse and rats and even raccoons in a lot of places we don't realize. Not because it's not sanitary, just because like that comes with the nature of the food industry is this. It is kind of creepy to think about, and I wouldn't be surprised if this starts happening more often because raccoons get hungry. I don't know. Yeah. Rats get hungry. Mice get hungry. And there's a lot of waste in the world right now, so things like this could happen a lot more often.
And they're scavengers too. So like they're obviously going to try to look for food. And, for somebody that locates a dining hall, I mean, that's kind of like gold, like a treasure map almost.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's just them like scourging through the trash like in the back of the building, like it's common stuff, and I'm surprised you don't see more of this, to be honest.
Did you have any weird dining hall moments, like in college? I know I asked you about finding animals, but like, did you have any weird moments?
I don't think so. I think it was pretty normal college stuff. I don't ever recall seeing anything too weird. There was one time they put like a band in the corner of campus in the middle of lunch, and no one could hear a thing. That wasn't weird. That was just bad planning because I couldn't hear the person that was sitting next to me.
Yeah. Oh, that's awful, man.
And it was funny because all the tables far away were filled. So as the dining hall got more crowded, they had to sit closer to the band, and that was even worse.
I had to a weird thing for me. I had to imitate Chewbacca at a breakfast the one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was for this. It's a big. They used to do a campus-wide scavenger hunt, and like you'd earn points for doing it. So of course I had to do the. Kids, I still can't even do it. But they're like, louder. We can't hear you. And of course, like I wanted to be like nice and loud. But yeah, I haven't really had any unique dining experiences. The music definitely being one of like of like everybody like trying to stay as far away as possible so they can actually enjoy their dinner or lunch without like completely like hurting your head. And yeah, we were a college that when we had dances, we would host them in the dining hall. Go figure.
Yeah, I remember going to the only Halloween dance I went to was junior year. No, I went to 2 Halloween dances. Yeah, that was a fun time. Midnight breakfast was always a treat.
Karaoke too.
Karaoke. I've never did karaoke.
I didn't either.
Yeah, no, fun. I've heard it was fun, but yeah, a lot of good memories in the dining hall.
Did we have a lot of times eating at the dining hall? I'm trying to think.
The two of us, I don't think too many times.
We never had a dinner date.
There was the time we went as a house junior year in the snowstorm. Which was memorable for other reasons.
Oh, very memorable. I'll share it. I really don't care. Boys being boys, we got like 6 feet of snow.
Yep, guys being dudes.
Guys being dudes. So of course we were trying to toss each other into the snow as we were walking to the dining hall, and then we would technically gang up on one individual, and we would kind of group together, toss him into the snow, and it was all fun and games.
All in good faith.
It's all in good faith.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was crazy too, because we had no school that entire week, with the exception of a compressed schedule on that Friday.
Yeah. Which was awesome because it was first weekend of March Madness.
March Madness, baby.
Yeah, it's great.
We really didn't do anything either. Like, because that was the time when we didn't have virtual class at all.
That was the first time I ever got drunk. Was that week?
Yes.
Yeah, like ever in my life. Yeah, it was wild.
Did we still go out that Thursday? I'm trying to remember.
No, we did not.
We did not.
Because I wasn't.
But I meant like us.
Oh. I don't think so.
I don't think we did. I think we stayed at home.
Right. I think
we just decided to drink.
I think we just got drunk at home. Yeah. Which was smart on our part. Saved a lot of money.
We also had 2K nights, which were really fun.
Yep. A lot of fun.
That was a really nice house game. Bonding. There you go. House bonding.
Yeah, honestly, it was great. I won the tournament. No surprise.
Phoenix
big deal.
on base.
Phoenix for on base.
What was I? I'm trying to remember. I was the Miami Heat, but
you were probably the Heat. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I was the Heat because it was a random. Like we actually chose like draft.
Yeah. Oh man, that was so long ago. I can't remember.
Yeah. Wow. And we had a bracket style too.
We did.
We did. Bracketed.
It was a legit tournament.
So we're getting off topic of dining hall experiences, but hey, the dining hall can only be done at college. So making sure that you enjoy your experience, you enjoy the food as much as you can while you can. Just like life, there's going to be hit or misses. So not everything's going to be great if you are participating in the dining hall at the moment. But Matt, at least it won't taste like dog shit. Because Matt, there was an article that came out that Patrick Wilson, who, Matt, do you know Patrick Wilson at all? Okay. Actor from Watchmen, said in a print interview with Empire Magazine that he may have eaten dog feces.
How do you possibly may have eat dog feces? How is that a thing?
So Wilson, who owns 3 pooches, made the awkward admission while responding to the question, "What's the worst thing you've put in your mouth?" And of course, Wilson replied, "It's probably dog shit. I'm sure in my quest to pick up dog crap that I've licked the bag to open the bag, and then it's on my hand and I have dog shit in there too." And when asked about his least favorite smell, the quote little children star, he's also a little children, also brought up his beloved canines. "You're talking to a guy that spends a good portion of the week cleaning up dog shit in his yard," he quipped. "But I'm sort of immune to that now." Wilson also revealed in his interview with Empire that he has a 3-inch scar on his hand when one of his dogs bit him.
Okay. Little pro tip for Patrick Wilson. Open the bag before you pick up the dog shit. That never crossed his mind?
You know, those superstars, man, they tend to get everything done by themselves. And, they really don't think straight like that.
No, apparently not. I don't know how you don't. I think this is pretty common sense. Like dog owning 101. Open the bag before you pick up the shit. Really makes me question why this guy owns a dog.
There wasn't any saying as to why he owns dogs or any particular reason, but the 3 dogs pooches. Oh, they're rescue pooches. That's nice.
Okay.
They're named Mabel, Louise, and Eddie Van.
Mabel is a top 5 dog name.
Really?
I love it. Yeah.
Eddie Van is a wild card for me here. It's an interesting name, Eddie Van.
It is. I kind of like it. Not gonna lie. I don't know why. Like, it doesn't really fit, but I like it.
But somebody actually now knows what tastes like dog shit.
Yeah. I'm still flabbergasted at this guy. Also, this is one of those things where you just don't admit it.
No,
I don't care if the guy asked you what the weird. Make it up. Make it say like octopus or like snail. That's something that like people can actually eat.
Yeah.
Dog shit. You're gonna say dog shit. You're willingly going to admit that you've ate dog shit. This guy. What was he thinking?
Have you ever considered eating dog treats?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Absolutely.
Have you?
I have not.
I
No.
haven't either.
I might one day though. They smell so good.
They look pretty meaty too. Like
Yeah.
that.
Like, do you ever smell like the bacon ones?
Oh,
It smells like bacon.
it's probably. Maybe that's what we should do on the podcast.
Episode 100. Anyone who comes on
I already
episode
have
100.
I already have an idea for episode 100 there, buddy.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, you.
Is that what we talked about before?
Maybe.
Oh God. Okay. All right. Everyone stay calm.
I had to wait after your colonoscopy. Okay. So
Right. Correct.
So stay tuned for episode 100 if you did not listen to that already. It'll be a good one. It'll be a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be awful.
It's gonna be something.
It's gonna be something, but no better way to do it when we hit triple numbers here. One hondo. Matt, what's the worst thing you've put in your mouth?
That's just a weird way to phrase that, man.
This is gonna be a great clip for Facebook.
Mom, he's asking what I put in my mouth.
She's probably gonna come in.
No, she's not. Weirdest thing. I've ate frog leg before.
Yeah, I think you've shared.
Did I talk about that?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the weirdest thing. I've had shark bites, but that's not too weird. I've had elk jerky, but that's not too weird. Yeah, I've never eaten anything that's like not food. Like I never accidentally ate anything. So I would have to probably go with frog legs, and they weren't bad. What about you?
So this is actually bringing up a really bad moment. Parmesan cheese. So do you know those green plastic bottles of Parmesan cheese? So as a kid, I really enjoyed. This is gonna be fun. I don't know if I've ever shared this.
I've never heard this.
So when I was like 5, when my parents would have Parmesan, they would put out a plate and they would sprinkle a little Parmesan, and then I would just take my fingers and then I would lick it. There was a one time Parmesan cheese came out. It was a big chunk, probably about the size of 2 golf balls. Let's put it together. Probably the size of 2 golf balls. And of course, me who loved Parmesan cheese, I got so excited, and I'm like, I'm going to have this big ball of Parmesan cheese. Matt, it didn't end up well. I threw up.
Oh no.
It was just, it was that much of Parmesan cheese that caused me to just upchuck. And my parents seriously regretted, peer pressuring me into eating it. So
yeah, they say too much of something isn't always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, too much Parm cheese, not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
No, not at all. I know someone who just eats raw seaweed, like the seaweed squares.
Okay.
They will just eat a raw square of seaweed.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. Trying to think of other weird things. This isn't really weird. This is kind of funny. It's the funny food story. Just because I think it'd be nice that the audience would like to know. One time, my mom was away on a trip. So my dad was watching over me and my brother. And I was pretty young at the time. I don't fully remember the story. But my brother was younger and wanted a bowl of cereal. So my dad pulled him a bowl of cereal. Except he didn't really use milk. He may have used some spiked eggnog.
Oh.
And Steven's like, Dad, the milk tastes a little funny. He's like, no, you're fine. Come to realize it was alcoholic eggnog.
How old was Steven?
He had to be less than 10. Yeah. Great story. He survived. It's funny now.
I think the worst thing was, and this is an alcoholic story. And it actually did end up in my mouth. Splice that audio. 2 weeks in a row, I've had really, really sus audio. Yeah. We just make that as our new donation notification. Tried putting that in your mouth.
You said it, not me.
I know. So back at my old house and this is not the new house that my parents are in. It was the original house that I grew up in. We had a driveway that we set up a basketball hoop. And we would typically, like when we had parties and it was nice out, like we would actually have it outdoors. We would open up the garage doors and we would have, like we'd play pickup, we'd play out. I forget which uncle it was. And they're probably lucky that I don't know which uncle it was. I can narrow it down to two. So we were playing one-on-one. I realized this, I was very young, that I think it was like 5th grade or 6th grade. I forget what. I would do this now. My uncle decided to play one-on-one with a red Solo cup of beer. So beer in one hand, trying to dribble, defend, swat, whatever. So ball goes basically out of our reach. So, of course, both of us try going to get it. I get it. He's over top of me. He doesn't want to fall on top of me. So he loses his balance and the beer just spills all over me.
Oh, no.
It was such a bad experience. But yeah, really, in reality, I wouldn't like beer on myself anyway. Like, I accidentally drip a little bit when I'm drinking, but you know, that's just me with age.
That happens to the best of us.
Happens to the best of us. So, yeah, that was a really bad experience for something getting in my mouth when I really shouldn't have, and it was beer.
Yeah, especially at a young age like that. Not a big beer drinkers.
No, not at all.
No bueno.
So, Patrick Wilson, I hope you're getting therapy, because you're sure probably going to get a lot more attention.
Yeah, or just don't eat dog shit. That's good advice. That's not my advice today, people. I feel like I don't have to say that to you all. But for Patrick Wilson, your advice this week is just don't eat dog shit.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. Mike, and speaking of beer, I'm sure we both probably had a couple Kutri this weekend.
Maybe
one or two. Listen, I had a big event at work this week. It went well, so I celebrated a little bit responsibly, of course. So I had time to think this weekend with a brew. Let's hop into a little bit of Matt's drunk thoughts. Now, these are not. I forgot I had my phone plugged in. These are not super drunk thoughts. Like I was pretty calm this weekend. But Mike, I have two.
Okay.
So I think I've mentioned this before, where people are switching from cable to streaming services.
Yes.
And then it's essentially that they're paying for so many streaming services that it's essentially like they're just paying for cable kind of thing.
Correct.
In a way. So my thought, what if there is just like a giant streaming service that you paid one streaming service for, but it gave you access to like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO? Like that's definitely never going to happen. But wouldn't it be so awesome if you could just pay like $150 to this company and with one login, you get it all? It's essentially cable and a streaming service.
I think the only company that would be able to achieve something like that would be Disney World.
Right.
Because they've already started, is it Hulu and ESPN?
It's Hulu, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus.
Yep.
I think that's it. Yeah, I know this isn't possible, but how awesome would that be? How much easier would our lives be?
It would be easier. And I think the worst thing about that is now we're talking on dependability with internet. Because what if, like, I'm sure years from now, cable will become obsolete. Actually, no, I take that back. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's really tough to call.
We're almost close to.
Go ahead.
My family is close to cutting all the cords. Very close.
I mean, I don't have cable. Like I don't have a set cord. I have the internet. But where was that? Where's my train of thought? It's been a week.
Something about cable being obsolete.
Cable being obsolete. Like I still think of like the news stations. I think it may transition. Like we've already seen some news stations transition more into the virtual world. Like they have their live feed on their website. They always say like radio will definitely stay forever. But in the event it evolves into podcasting, which obviously is what we're doing now. Like, let's
Mhm.
say we were like, let's say back in the day, we're like, oh, let's have a show. Like, we'd have to be at a radio station for that to happen, or some type of recording to allow us to get it published. But now it's so freely that we're able to publish on our own free will. But no, I mean, let me tell you, for the amount of times that Jenna and I have looked for shows, like shows that we were actually interested in, it's like, oh, it's on this streaming service. We're like, crap, we don't have that streaming service. That's, yeah. So I agree with your drunk thought, Matthew.
Thank you. Yeah, it's me with The Office. The Office is off Netflix. It's on Peacock. I don't have Peacock because I could really go for some episodes of The Office lately.
Even though, how many times have you watched The Office?
Too many times.
Yeah.
Way too many times. This next one I think is genius, Mike. Now I know it's probably unrealistic right now with the job market and a lot of companies are short staffed. But once we get past this phase and companies get back to regular staff, you know, we have Uber Eats, we have delivery services.
DoorDash.
You know who would make a killing? What companies do you think would make a killing on their own delivery service?
Grocery shopping?
No. One more
Beer?
guess. No, it's not food related. Could you imagine if Lowe's and Home Depot had a delivery service?
I thought they did.
I don't think they do, but you can online order and pick it up. But think about this: if you're doing a home project and you start reading the directions and you're like, "Crap!" In step 6, I need these screws and like this tool, and I don't have it. So you like go online, order it from Lowe's. You can start the project, and by the time you get to that step, Lowe's is here with your tools, with your screws, with your nails, whatever you need. That way you don't have to take the time to leave your house, go to Lowe's, come back. You can just keep working on the project and they can even help you out a little bit.
It's pretty interesting.
Uh-huh.
That's big brain.
Listen.
Save it somewhere. And let's bring it to an investment team.
Yeah, I already lost it.
Or what about there's an additional fee that you can do that you can bring somebody to also do it themselves. Like expert installation.
Like a little assistant.
Yeah.
Even if they don't do the whole thing themselves, if they just like help you out. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Little assistant.
It's kind of like hiring a contractor in a sense. But I think people would love it.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I kid you not. When it was New Year's, I rearranged my desk setup for, again, like the 19th time in my life. There was screws I actually needed to secure a stand. And I spent like, God knows how long at the hardware store trying to find these little screws where it would be nice to like have like customer service and being like, I really don't know. And it's like, oh, can you send me a picture? And then they'd be, oh, if it even gets bigger, they'd be able to measure it based on your phone photo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think it'd be a huge industry.
Yes.
I know. Listen, I got great ideas. Just nobody listens to me.
Yeah. Extra large pillowcases.
That's the best idea I've ever had in my life. And I will stand by that till I go to the grave. Someone's going to make money off that. And I'm going to be a genius.
So pissed.
I'm going to be so proud of myself because I thought of it first.
Yeah, but like you need to take like copyright and then you get royalties for that.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Okay.
I'd rather just complain to my friends and family that I had the idea first. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work, man. Yeah, come on. If I can do it with a beer in my hand, maybe. All right, let's move on to our next segment, Mike. We're gonna get into our safe space. We're gonna let it out, and we're gonna go into some say what. And Mike, I will allow you to go first if you would be so kind to accept.
Yes, I as a member of the council, I thoroughly do accept this prestigious offer.
Excellent.
All right. So we were talking about dog shit earlier in the show.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say Mr. Gambita had to take a number 2. And so this didn't happen, but I thought about it. So the bathroom arrangements at our workplace, there's bathrooms on each floor. The issue is the amount of bathrooms that are on each floor.
Mm.
On my floor, there are 2 men's bathrooms. Yeah, there's 2 men's bathrooms. Each bathroom only has 1 toilet and
Ooh.
1 urinal. So could you imagine, let's just say I had an emergency number 2. I'd go into the bathroom. It's locked. And I'm like, crap, literally. I'd have to fast walk, because we all know how it is when you got to poop.
Yep.
And you go to the other bathroom, and that bathroom's being occupied too.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're just like, well, I might as well just shit on the floor. So I just think, yes, it's a very old building. It was renovated, but I think there needs to be an additional stall, because there's got to be that one person who's not going to make it and is going to have skid marks, or worse than that, just a package inside their pants.
Yeah, I agree. Nobody wants that.
No.
Yeah, there needs to be a good toilet to bathroom ratio, or bathroom to toilet ratio.
How many toilets are in your workplace?
We have a lot.
Yeah.
Due to the stadium.
A lot of areas, yeah.
Right now we don't have all of them open, like outside, just because it's winter time. I'd say in the actual office we have like 2. It gets a little dicey sometimes, but we make it work. Yeah, that's always a big fear of mine, though, is being in public, like not being able to use the bathroom.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
No, it's not.
It's honestly, it's very scary and traumatizing.
So yeah, toilets. There needs to be more of them.
I fully agree, and I also agree with your ventilation idea that you had a few months ago.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think it was more specifically the awkward spacing between a urinal and a stall.
Yeah, that does need to be addressed in some bathrooms. You're way too close. Nobody wants to hear that.
That's my first one.
All right, so I have 2. They're both about social media.
Oh boy, can't wait to hear this one.
First one, let's stick with Twitter. Mike, I love Twitter, and I do love Twitter. It's my favorite app. There are some things about Twitter that kind of sucks, specifically when it comes to sports.
Mm.
So Mike, you've heard of like basketball Twitter, like NBA Twitter, baseball Twitter,
yep,
hockey Twitter.
Yep.
There's comes time in the year where basketball Twitter will fight baseball Twitter. And I just think it's the most stupid arguments you can have online with strangers when you're arguing what sport is better, basketball and baseball, when they're 2 totally different things. People just got to take them for what they are. Like you're never going to convince the baseball fan that basketball is better, and you're never going to convince the basketball fan that baseball is better. So arguing about which sport is better is irrelevant, especially because basketball and baseball seasons, they overlap by like 3 months out of the year. And people pay attention to basketball from April to June. And then when basketball ends, guess what? People watch baseball. So just get over it. And then NFL Twitter is its own thing. I think we all just need to appreciate sports for what they are. And if you don't like a certain sport, just don't watch it. I don't think you have to convince other people why it sucks.
Well, everybody shouldn't take sports for granted, to be completely honest, because we took it during the pandemic and we didn't get sports. Like there was nothing to watch. I mean, yeah, there was the bubble for the NBA, but that was probably the most successful of the sports that were participating in some type of, event that allowed people to watch, but not everybody's an NBA fan. And people are college fans sometimes. So yeah, that's tough. That's tough to hear. And please get along, everybody, please.
Mm-hmm. You know what's even worse of a debate? If college football is better than the NFL, or if college basketball is better than the NBA.
They're good in
that
their
is
own
literally
way.
2 different sports.
they're good in their own way.
Exactly.
Like I get more of the, I don't want to say the attention, but I get more of the pace of college basketball. Like NBA game down by 10, 2 minutes left to go. Like you kind of know this is over, but like down by 20 with 2 minutes left to go, it's anybody's game in college basketball. Like it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, you're right. You just got to take them for what they are. Like they're just different.
So
and we're also comparing college athletes to pro players when like none of them will touch the NBA. And it's like, oh, college players really can't shoot the three. Yeah, guess what? That's because they're not NBA players.
Right.
And half the NBA players can't make threes.
Let alone make foul shots.
Right.
Professional players not making fouls. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, God. That's
a ninja conversation.
Jeez.
Good old ninja. Yeah. Just watch the sport. That's
yeah. Yep.
I guess this isn't more of a gripe. This is just more of like kind of a safe space, like cool to talk about. So we had a lot of video shoots this past week at my job.
You'd like to call Sean Ferry?
No.
I will not then. Who would you like to call?
I literally yawned. I was yawning into my Apple Watch. Shout out Sean.
Oh, I was gonna say I might have to bleep out his.
Well, you can bleep that out too.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I literally yawned. I didn't even say anything, so I don't really know how that happened. I apologize, Michael.
My favorite is when I go like this and I start talking and like my watch goes off. So we had a lot of video shoots over the past weekend. There was a really daunting creative task that was put on by us, not just by simply an idea, but we wanted to do something cool. We wanted to do something original. We wanted to do something unique. And it was really interesting how it all came together. And Matt, I showed you pictures of from the screenshots from the video shoots that we had. Mm-hmm. And like, it was just so funny how, now I guess I'll set the scenario. We were highlighting a person, but we would film it in the racquetball room. So typically the racquetball room is very well lit. It's LED lights, overhead lights, and they would, they usually use it for practice and whatnot. And the participant would walk in. We actually had the main lights off, and then we had two different colored lights. We had a main LED light, and then we kind of had this like mat to like hopefully dampen the sound to travel, but it kind of served as a weird like surprise type of deal. And I was just super impressed, and just shout out to the team who helped put it together. I am a one-man team sometimes, but you really couldn't do what we just did these past weekend with just a one-person team. And I'm truly grateful for everybody who's helped out. Just some of the colleagues and people that came in. It's truly appreciated. And it's not that I want to give credit like by names, but like obviously I certainly don't want to talk too much about work, because this podcast is meant to talk about play, not work.
Right. And the good thing is it all came out well. I know it was a lot of stress, but it worked well. And I can piggyback off that. I had a big event at work last week too that is also kind of a one-man department in a certain way. I did most of the planning myself, but I had a lot of great staff that helped me the day of the event. Went well. It's always nice when you can just get support from coworkers and really make a project that worked that much better.
Mm-hmm. We also had a lot of buy-in. One coworker brought donuts as like kind of a nice thing, and my boss actually brought us pizza that night when we were that whole night. So I really appreciate everybody's help. So yeah, a little positive. I don't think I've ever been positive on Say What. So
yeah, I don't know if any of us have. Also, speaking of donuts, Mike, happy Fasnacht Day.
Fasnacht.
Yeah, did you have a Fasnacht?
No.
No? A nice cream-filled one from a local bakery. Oh, love a good Fasnacht.
My biggest dad joke for today was, It's Fat Tuesday? Oh, it's Fat Tuesday every day. It's Fat Tuesday every Tuesday.
That's damn straight. Damn straight. My final one, Mike, TikTok, probably my second favorite app. They made some news today. Did you see this news?
No, but I'd love to hear about it.
So they increased the maximum limit on a
10
video.
minutes.
10. Who the hell? First of all, who wants to watch a 10-minute TikTok? More importantly, who the hell wants to make a 10-minute TikTok?
So you'd be surprised, Matt. I heard one content creator that was trying the 10-minute upload. I was watching a little ninja on the Twitch. His friend Cypher PK, friend of the show, you know,
Friend of the program.
friend of the program. He was saying that he was trying it, but there was a couple things that he was just going for. So number one, he was re-uploading a video that was popular on his YouTube page. And it was a Fortnite fashion show. Cypher PK does a lot of Fortnite. And the weird thing that I really didn't like, because he has a team that does all these things, is he was just going to put the 1920 by 1080 video and have it like small, like not covering the entire screen like most other TikToks are.
I hate
But
that.
then he's putting subtitles above and below the video. And like, it was interesting because Ninja was like, why don't you just create a new account and then just see how fast it blows up, because algorithms are different. And which is funny. But I had a thing about TikTok, but go ahead and, your response to the 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of TikTok, is that it's quick, short, little videos. And like I said, like I enjoy some of the longer ones depending on what they are. If it's like a wholesome video, I like it. But I think Ninja actually has a good idea. If Cypher does want to post 10-minute old YouTube videos, just make a new account.
Right.
So people can follow that account if they want to watch the 10-minute videos. You know, I think these content creators, I don't think used to be posting 12-second videos along with minute-and-a-half videos along with 10-minute videos. I think that's going to mess up your page, because there's a lot of people that are going to maybe only want to see long videos, and they'll follow accounts that do that. But there's a lot of people like me that just want short little TikToks and just want to scroll and scroll and scroll. They don't want to be watching the same video for 10 minutes. I'm also surprised he's going to repost old YouTubes, because isn't that going to then maybe take people away from his YouTube account?
I mean, I think it engages new people. And let's think about it, Matt. So your usage time with your social media apps, like, and I'm not saying is there more people, because I know there's statistics out there that TikTok is not the number one platform as of right now. Are there more people spending more time on TikTok than YouTube now? Like, as far as app time? And I think I could, without researching, I could pretty much make the case that that's probably correct. Because thinking about it, how much new and discovered content are you consuming versus YouTube? Like, it's very rare that you figure out, your content. Like, you figure out like the content that you're watching and you discover it, versus like and I mean, we've talked about this multiple times, Matt, like our content, it works better on TikTok than it does on Facebook or YouTube. And I think that's what Cypher's trying to pull, is this discoverability that people who may not be familiar with Cypher, who are on TikTok, are going to discover him by doing this.
It's a fair point. I really think that. I don't know. Remember when everyone freaked out when Twitter increased the length of the tweets?
Yeah.
Everyone's going like, oh, this is terrible. That's not what Twitter is. I feel like that's probably going to get the same thing. Like, oh, this isn't what TikTok is. I don't want to watch 10-minute videos. And we'll see.
There needs to be a ban on TikTok, and not just the app. There needs to be a ban of everybody doing like for part 2.
Awful.
Because how am I going to find your video for part 2 when it was on my For You page and you posted this video weeks ago?
Yes.
While you're posting new content.
Right. And I'm not going to follow you just for one video. Especially now with 10-minute videos, there should be no liking for part 2. There should be none of that. Just make the full video.
Could you imagine somebody does like 10-minute video and it's like, oh, like for part 2?
I would actually block them. I don't want to see a single video from them ever again on my For You page.
I actually did the not interested in this content a couple days ago.
Oh, did you? I've done that once or twice.
In particular, if it's been showing up on your For You page, it is this game, and it's about Mr. Incredible at the bottom.
Okay.
And it like is showing like a spike ball going through and trying to pop all the balloons while going through. It's interesting you haven't seen this. This is very interesting. But like every time, like it either tries to pop or is like gonna miss and is gonna like fall. Like Mr. Incredible's face changes. It's very creepy sometimes, especially when it's like 12:30 in the morning. But I was like, I'm just not interested. Like, I get it, it's performing well, but like, stop pushing it to my feed.
Yeah, I've done that once or twice. I don't remember what for, but sometimes you just gotta cut the cord.
Mm-hmm. Cut the cord.
But yeah, I'm out on 10-minute TikToks. Don't want to see them.
10-minute TikToks. Well, and Matt, we have always been trying to condense our podcast to a half hour, but we tend to still not do it, even with some of the changes that we've made.
We have a lot to say.
We do have a lot to say, and that's why we're giving more time to say it. But also not. Somewhere.
We just hope you enjoy what we do.
Yeah, like Matt said, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube, hey YouTube, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Dad wave. Make sure you subscribe. You could rate us 5 stars on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can buy our merch. Matt's wearing a nice sweatshirt.
Yeah, it's
comfy, lovely, fashionable. You can get them in all wonderful colors. Maybe you're
April actually said I look so sexy in this sweatshirt. That came right out of her mouth.
Sure, Matt, you do. You look super sexy in that sweatshirt.
Thank you.
That nice gray sweatshirt.
Yeah. Brings out my eyes well.
But yeah, you can get in wonderful colors. Maybe you're working from home. We have desk mats that are available that have our logo and obviously our twitch.tv/funnybusinessen. If you want to game maybe, or you just got some Excel sheets you need to be working on at work from home. Yep. You can find all of our information at solo.to/funnybusiness. Mr. Matthew, what is your advice for the good people of the funny business world?
I believe this is a repeat, but just do your job at work. If there's a big issue that you have to deliberate with coworkers or people in your business, just make sure you get it done. And make sure you do your jobs and don't procrastinate. And really just try to get everything done in a timely manner.
No funny business.
No funny business. Absolutely not.
The only time you can have funny business is when you're listening, watching, or liking us on social media.
Or talking about it with your coworkers at work. That does count.
That is funny business. That actually is funny business.
That is funny business. That is allowed as per the Funny Business Podcast.
Yeah, just make sure you do your job, follow your job description. And yeah, we hope you enjoyed this episode. And until the next time, we'll see you all in the next episode.
Stay safe, everyone.